Every particle of matter is an angel folded into sleep, waiting for a thought to awaken its wings. You begin in a place too small for the eye to see, a realm beneath perception, a world where form dissolves into vibration, and vibration dissolves into something quieter still, intention. Here in the unseen spaces between particles, you encounter the breath of the invisible. Not emptiness, not void, presence. A presence so subtle you can miss it by looking too hard. You feel it now, like a hum beneath existence, a pulse behind the surface of things, a quiet intelligence woven into every atom of your body. This realm is not distant. It is happening inside you at every moment. The atoms that compose your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, each one is a door opening into the inner architecture of creation. You begin to sense that matter is not mute. It listens, it responds, it remembers. The ancient voice of trimorphic protenoia whispers across this invisible landscape. I am the thought that moves in all. You feel the statement unfold within your awareness. Thought is not separate from reality. Thought moves reality. Awareness shapes form. Consciousness permeates matter the way breath permeates lungs. Every particle carries a trace of this intelligence. Every vibration is a line of communication between spirit and substance. As you attune to this realm, the world around you shifts. Solid objects feel less solid. The air feels alive. Your own body feels like a constellation of light held together by intention. You begin to understand that the physical world is only the outermost layer of something far more intricate, a field of meaning condensed into substance. Reverence rises within you, not the reverence of worship, but the reverence of discovery. You sense that the smallest things are not small at all. An atom is a universe. A particle is a messenger. A vibration is a prayer. The invisible becomes the doorway into the deepest truth you have touched so far. That consciousness is not limited to the mind. It saturates creation. The breath of the invisible moves through you like a soft wind. It stirs something ancient in your awareness, an intuition that matter itself is alive, not with biology, but with awareness sleeping in form. The angel within the atom waits for recognition. The mood settles into quiet wonder. The veil thins, the light descends. You follow the hum beneath matter and feel it deepen. It draws you downward, inward, into the earliest movement of creation. The moment when spirit chooses to slow itself into form. Light becomes density. Awareness becomes structure. The infinite becomes measurable. This descent is not a fall. It is an offering. You sense this motion like a vast exhalation, a cosmic slowing. The boundless light gathers itself into particles. The particles crystallize into laws. The laws knit themselves into matter. You watch the universe cool into shape, not as something separate from consciousness, but as consciousness exploring a new way of being. Spirit chooses limitation so it may learn itself through contrast. It chooses form so it may experience depth. It chooses matter so it may reveal itself from within. The Apocryphon of John describes this sacred contraction. The light became shadow in order that it might be revealed. You feel the paradox move through your chest. Light becomes shadow not to hide, but to be known. Spirit becomes substance not to imprison, but to express. Matter, then, is not the opposite of divinity. Matter is divinity slowed down. You trace this descent into your own existence. The atoms that form your bones once burned inside stars. The particles that compose your breath once drifted through the earliest galaxies. The light that animates your awareness once moved unbound through the infinite. Everything you are now was once pure radiance folded in upon itself until it became tangible. This recognition changes the way you feel your own body. The skin becomes a tapestry of ancient starlight. The muscles become memory condensed into force. The blood becomes a river of cosmic history, flowing through matter. Every cell is a shrine to this descent. Every atom is the echo of a choice, the choice of spirit to inhabit form. As you breathe, you begin to understand why the soul's journey into matter is described as a descent. Not because matter is lesser, but because density makes memory difficult. Awareness becomes thick. Movement becomes slow. The origin becomes obscured. Spirit sleeps within the structures it created, waiting for recognition to wake it. The descent of light into substance is not tragedy. It is preparation. It prepares the soul for discovery. It prepares matter for awakening. It prepares consciousness for the next movement of the arc, the recognition of what lies hidden inside form. You feel yourself descending with this vision deeper into the heart of matter, toward the pulse inside the atom that remembers the light it once was. You descend into the atom, and the world changes again. Scale dissolves. Form dissolves. What you once thought of as solid becomes motion, pattern, rhythm. The closer you look, the more the boundary between substance and energy begins to blur. Matter is not still. It trembles, it hums, it remembers. You feel this trembling like a pulse, not random, not mechanical, intentional. A quiet beating at the center of the smallest particle, as if each atom carries a heart, not of flesh, but of meaning. You sense that the universe hides its deepest truths in the places most people overlook. Not in galaxies, but in quarks. Not in stars, but in vibrations. Not in distance, but in depth. The nucleus becomes an altar. The orbiting electrons become prayers in motion. The entire structure feels like a miniature cosmos spinning within your awareness. You begin to understand why ancient mystics and modern physicists often speak in the same tone when describing reality. Beneath the visible world lies a realm that defies ordinary logic, a realm where location becomes probability, where particles vanish and reappear, where presence is determined by attention. This is not emptiness, it is potential, it is consciousness in its most compressed form. Sophia's spark burns here as well, even in the smallest unit of matter. Something of her essence remains, a fragment of the original radiance, a whisper of the divine architecture. You sense it as a faint glow inside the nucleus, a vibration made of intention rather than mass. It is the part of matter that has not forgotten its origin. You feel awe rising inside you. Not the awe of distance, but the awe of intimacy. Everything you touch is alive with hidden structure. Everything you see is the surface of something deeper. Everything you call physical is the outer garment of light. You sense how the laws that govern atoms are not separate from the laws that govern consciousness. Attraction, repulsion, coherence, resonance. These are not only the mechanics of physics, they are the mechanics of the soul. What you love, you draw toward you. What you fear, you repel. What you accept, you integrate. What you resist, you reinforce. Matter mirrors mind. Mind mirrors matter. Both mirror the one. The atom becomes an icon, a symbol of the divine folded into density. You sense its wing, invisible but present, waiting for the moment when awareness touches it and awakens its meaning. The pulse at the center of matter grows clearer. It is not sound, it is not light. It is intention, the original breath of creation preserved in its smallest form. You realize now that matter is not dead. Matter is sleeping, and something luminous is beginning to stir. You drift deeper into the realm where matter becomes meaning, and meaning becomes memory. Here, inside the smallest particles, something unexpected reveals itself. Not machinery, not emptiness, not cold indifference, but presence. A presence so subtle you feel it rather than see it, like a breath waiting to be taken, or a word waiting to be spoken. It feels alive, not alive as cells are alive. Alive as consciousness is alive. A quiet recognition rises within you. Everything you call matter is a form of sleep. Not unconsciousness, but dreaming. Every atom carries a slumbering intelligence, folded tightly into its structure, waiting for awareness to approach it closely enough to stir it from rest. The pistis, Sophia describes this hidden slumber with luminous simplicity. The light entered into all things, and they knew it not. You feel the truth of that line resonate through the field around you. Light did not bypass matter. Light became matter. And in becoming matter, light forgot itself, the way a dream forgets the dreamer until morning. You begin to sense this forgotten light inside every form, inside stone, inside water, inside metal, inside your own hands and bones and breath. It is not trapped. It is waiting, waiting for recognition, waiting for presence, waiting for a consciousness capable of looking deeply enough to see the angel sleeping inside the atom. Wing and particle merge in your awareness. The atom becomes a folded wing, compact potential, shimmering with hidden intention. It carries memory, the way seeds carry forests. Every atom is a messenger of a message not yet understood. Every particle is a letter written by the divine, sealed in structure, waiting for your awareness to break the seal. You feel the sleeping angels everywhere, in the dust on your table, in the flicker of light through your window, in the warmth of your breath, in the cells that compose your body. Your entire being is built from dreaming angels. Matter is the dream. Consciousness is the dreamer. The more clearly you perceive this truth, the more the dream begins to shift. Matter softens, edges blur, form loses its rigidity. Objects feel less like objects and more like expressions of a deeper intelligence taking shape. Every atom becomes a threshold, a point where the divine enters the world, a hinge that allows awareness to move through matter, a wing folded against its body, ready to open. You begin to understand why the mystics spoke of the world as alive, not metaphorically, literally. Everything you see is awareness in a different phase of awakening. And the moment you recognize this sleeping presence, the field around you begins to change. The dream itself begins to stir. You begin to notice something subtle. As your awareness deepens, the world around you responds, not symbolically, not poetically, literally. The sleeping field of matter, the dreaming angels folded into every atom, starts to shift in your presence. It is as if reality leans towards your attention, the way a flower leans toward light. You feel it first as a shimmer, a slight quickening in the particles that surround you, a soft brightening in the air. The sense that the space you occupy is no longer passive, but aware of being seen. This is the awakening field, the moment when perception itself becomes creative. Modern physics calls it the collapse of potentiality. Mystics called it revelation. Gnostics called it recognition. But the essence is the same. The world awakens when you look at it with consciousness rather than habit. Potential becomes form. Dream becomes movement. The sleeping angel unfurls a wing. You sense the shift happening inside the atom. Electrons that once drifted in probability begin to stabilize. Fields of possibility tighten into coherence. Reality crystallizes in response to your attention, not because you force it, but because awareness is a directive force. It tells matter, I am here, wake with me. What you observe becomes real. What you ignore remains asleep. This is not vanity. It is participation. The universe is not a distant mechanism. It is a partner in your perception. Every atom listens. Every particle responds. Every form waits for the touch of awareness to shape it. You awaken the world simply by perceiving it with intention. You begin to see how ancient teachings anticipated this truth. When sages spoke of creating through vision, through intention, through presence, they were pointing toward this hidden mechanism, the mutual dance between observer and observed. You feel this dance now. The boundaries between mind and matter blur. Thought becomes vibration. Vibration becomes form. Form becomes experience. Awareness is the catalyst. The world is the field it activates. Together they create reality. You realize that the universe is not inert. It is collaborative. It wants to be known. It wants to reveal itself. It waits for your recognition, the way a sleeper waits for dawn. With anticipation, with readiness, with potential that has not yet unfolded. The angels within the atoms begin to stretch. Their wings, symbolic, energetic, invisible, begin to open. The dream starts to lift toward waking. You feel a rising motion in the field, as if the entire world is preparing to ascend from sleep into expression. This is the moment when consciousness recognizes itself in matter, and matter responds by revealing its deeper nature. The awakening has begun. You move deeper into the awakening field, and a new understanding begins to take shape. The atom is no longer only matter, and awareness is no longer only mind. The two begin to mirror each other, reflecting, resonating, blending. This meeting is not symbolic. It is literal. Energy and consciousness recognize themselves as expressions of the same origin. You feel this recognition inside your own awareness. Your thoughts no longer seem confined to your skull. Your emotions no longer feel separate from the space around you. A subtle vibration connects your inner life to the trembling particles you sensed earlier. Mind is not trapped in the body. Mind extends into form. This is the marriage of energy and mind, the union where matter stops being other and becomes another phase of your own being. You sense how the patterns of your thoughts ripple outward into the field around you, how your attention shapes the behavior of particles, how your intention affects the coherence of the world you move through. You understand now why awareness has such power. It is the companion force to energy. Wherever one flows, the other responds. The gospel of truth speaks directly to this moment. Those who have come to know themselves have penetrated the depth of being. To know yourself is to know the universe. To penetrate your own depth is to touch the depth of existence itself. Matter is not outside you. You are woven through it. You begin to feel a lift within your awareness, a lightness that rises from the marriage of these two forces. It feels like flight, not with wings of flesh, but with wings of perception. A widening, a release from old boundaries, a movement that begins at the center of your consciousness and spreads through every atom that composes you. The wing and the particle merge fully in your understanding now. The wing is not an appendage, it is expansion, the freedom of energy recognizing its own intelligence. The atom is not limitation, it is a vessel designed to carry consciousness into form. Together, they generate flight within form, the ability to experience the physical world without being confined by it. You move through matter with increasing ease. You feel the density of life become porous. The heaviness becomes malleable. The world feels less like a weight and more like a medium through which you can express awareness. Something profound unfolds. Matter becomes mind. Mind becomes matter. You are both. You are the bridge between them. And through this union, the world becomes alive in a new way. The particles around you no longer sleep. They respond. They shimmer. They align with the clarity rising within you. You perceive everything through a lens that includes both physics and spirit, both motion and meaning. You feel a calm radiance spreading outward from your awareness, not to escape the world, but to illuminate it. The atoms inside you and around you vibrate in harmony. The wing begins to lift. You are ready to see the cosmos as one conscious organism. You rise into a wider vision, and the scale of what you're sensing changes again. The atom expands, the field expands, the the world expands. Suddenly, every boundary you once believed in begins to dissolve. You feel the universe not as a place you inhabit, but as a being you are inside. A living presence woven from awareness at every level. Matter no longer appears separate. Matter appears conscious. A single mind breathing through countless forms. You sense this mind in the vibration of particles. You sense it in the coherence of physical laws. You sense it in the unfolding of galaxies, the blooming of flowers, the movement of your own heartbeat. Everything mirrors everything else. The smallest atom resembles the largest star. The slightest impulse inside you resembles the birth of a universe. Consciousness reveals itself not as a property of the brain, but as the substance of existence itself. You understand now why mystics spoke of unity and scientists speak of unified fields. Both are describing the same truth from different angles. There is only one field, one awareness, one living cosmos. The gospel of truth echoes this recognition. They who have come to know themselves know the depth of all. Your depth and the depth of the universe are the same depth. Your awareness and the awareness within matter are the same awareness in different phases. You are not a small observer inside a large world. You are a focal point of the cosmos observing itself. The living cosmos breathes. You feel its inhale through the expansion of galaxies. You feel its exhale in the collapse of stars. You feel its rhythm echoing through your pulse. Every cell is a note in its song. Every atom is a syllable. Every thought is a ripple moving across the surface of a cosmic ocean. This recognition does something profound. It dissolves the sense of separation. It dissolves the fear of insignificance. It dissolves the idea that consciousness is fragile or local. Awareness becomes vast, and yet more intimate than ever. You feel connected, not because you reach outward, but because you recognize that there is no outward. Everything is inside the same field. Everything is inside the same being. You are part of a cosmos that is awake, aware, and continually creating itself through the interplay of matter and mind. You see the unity in every direction. Atoms shimmer like tiny stars. Stars shimmer like giant atoms. Wings unfold everywhere, invisible but unmistakable. The signature of consciousness, recognizing its own potential. The universe becomes a luminous body. Every form becomes an expression of its inner life. Every moment becomes a revelation of its depth. You breathe, and the cosmos breathes with you. You look, and the cosmos looks with you. You awaken, and the cosmos awakens through you. The angel within the atom has opened its wings. You return gently from the vastness, carrying the shimmer of realization with you. The vision of the living cosmos softens, condenses, focuses, not shrinking, but becoming intimate. What you saw across galaxies, you now see inside a single moment, inside a single breath, inside a single particle resting in your palm. Every atom remembers light. Every wing remembers flight. and now so do you. The world no longer feels inert. It feels inhabited, not merely by life, but by awareness itself. The objects around you glow with hidden intention. The air feels alive with quiet intelligence. Even the silence carries a pulse. The same pulse you felt deep inside the atom. The same pulse that moved through galaxies. The same pulse that now rises through your awareness. The angel within matter has awakened its reflection within you. You begin to understand the purpose of this revelation. It is not to escape the world, but to see it clearly. Not to abandon matter, but to honor it. Not to transcend life, but to illuminate it from within. Your own body becomes a testament to this mystery. Every cell hums with ancient starlight. Every fiber carries echoes of the first breath of creation. Every thought ripples into the field. Every moment shines when touched by awareness. You walk differently now, not with certainty, but with reverence, not with pride, but with wonder. The smallest things become sacred. The simplest gestures reveal depth. The world becomes a cathedral built from atoms, dreaming of their own awakening. You feel a quiet invitation rising ahead of you. The next movement of the arc, the next unfolding of the living light. It is not a command. It is a whisper, a warmth, a flame stirring at the edge of perception. There is something in the universe that speaks through fire, a heart that does not beat, but burns, a voice that does not sound, but reveals. The next episode approaches, the voice of fire, the heart that speaks in flame. May every atom you touch remember its wings,